Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride, where we are channeling the man in the moon. Two things before we jump in here. One is that there is a lady who I am training to channel. Her name is Anita. If you'd like to have her channel for you, it would be $60. This is less than half the price that I would charge. The process works in such a way that she would channel for you. I would also look at the information and sort of help her decipher what's going on. If you are interested in this, you can visit my website or send me a message and let me know. It's not certain that I'll be able to accommodate everybody because there may be a lot of people asking for these readings, but insofar as I can, I will, and if I am not able to accommodate somebody, I'll definitely let you know. Number two is Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. These are a couple of books about reincarnation. They're written by a psychologist, and I really want to recommend them. It will help sort of put our lives in perspective if we have a little bit more information on rebirth and different lives that we have had and why we have these lives. I find these books very compelling, and the great part is that they're on YouTube. They're totally audio. You don't have to buy a thing. I'll leave a link here at the bottom. I just love reading these books. They're fascinating, and they really open up a lot of doors in my experience. And along those lines, let's just channel in here. I'm pretty sure it's going to go right to Trump here, but I'm going to try to ask some pretty specific questions about what is in store for America and the world. Okay, so... One thing that seems really important to let people know is that Donald Trump is losing it. He really is declining in his ability even to function. So people keep sort of overlooking this and talking about political this and political that. His psychological makeup will not survive much longer. He's unable to be effective. People do not listen to him. They've given up on sort of protecting him from his own problems. Now, that might seem like just a political thing, but it's also just a personal issue. He'll, sometimes just get words wrong. He's sort of lost from time to time. He doesn't really know what he's doing. More and more, we see signs of actually just dementia. So one thing that might warm your heart up a bit is that he's not really able to conduct much right now. He's effectively a non-president. Nobody listens to him. So the terrible things that he might be able to do really are starting to fade. He just doesn't have it in him to do much. Imagine a person with 100 arrows, 100 spears pointed at him. That's what he is up against. Just one indictment after a subpoena, after another issue, after another issue. And while we think of such a person as being really tough, there's really no way he can handle all of these attacks. Just even in separately, he cannot manage them in his own mind. You notice that while he might have just walked away from the Mueller report and never mentioned it again, he remains obsessed with it and responding to it. He's going to be obsessed and responding to all of this stuff. So he has been effectively neutralized. Much of the danger is over. There is a question now about the integrity of the country. So, Spirit, is there anything else we need to know about Donald Trump? Yeah, if you saw him in his personal life, if you saw the way that he was acting with his family and stuff, you really would think that this is a guy who's not altogether there. He just goes on these very emotional tirades against his family. He fights with his wife, and it's just totally irrational. Nobody wants to be around him. Nobody trusts him. Even the closest cabinet members. Nobody Nobody takes any stock in what he has to say. He's not a leader right now. He is a beast at bay. I've used that term before, but that's kind of how he appears to me. So, Spirit, is there anything we can expect from Donnie in May? Well, one thing that we're approaching is some kind of building bill with the Democrats where he's actually going to try to cross the aisle and try to work together with the Democrats. And this is going to be an attempt at some movement because he's not able to work with his own people right now. They don't trust him. But the Dems may have something to gain out of this, so they actually might try to work with him. But the problem is they also don't really trust him. So he'll get to the point of almost solving it, and then he'll blow it. He only knows how to blow hard. He doesn't know how to calm down and make reconciliations. So it's going to be extremely difficult for him to try to work together with his adversaries because that's just not what he knows how to do. Now, I do see Nancy Pelosi. She's wearing all red, and she looks really shiny. She looks like, oh, this is a piece of cake. Yellow brick road in front of me, man. We are just jamming here. She doesn't look worried. She looks like she's going to come out really, really well in this situation. It might be that Trump finally does this bill with them, and they start building bridges and taking care of streets and things like that. It looks like that they will struggle with it, and in each step, Trump will make a fool of himself. And part of Nancy's strategy, insofar as she is smart, is just to get him out there in public. And every time he speaks, he's just going to make some blunder. He'll do something foolish, and there's nothing bad for the Dems. They'll just be smiling. I mean, whether they succeed or fail, they look great. I think it will eventually come through, this bill, but it will be on and off a lot. And maybe it won't be as great as we expect. It will be a bit pared down, but maybe just only a little bit because, Trump actually, might try to sabotage it because he doesn't want Nancy to look good. That's just going to look like sabotage. And then to prove he's not sabotaging, then he'll come to some agreement. It's sort of like wall funding or anything else. It will appear like he's fighting something, but the truth is he's just losing his grip. He's no longer on top of these situations. So anything else? Again, I just see Nancy really shining. And it does look like I see her holding cash. It does look like they got the money to do the highway bill. Yeah, Nancy's looking really efficient right now. Man, she's just walking through the halls and she's getting stuff done, and she's getting a little closer to the left in terms of like Ocasio-Cortez. She's getting a little closer to her in terms of agreements. It's kind of like they tacitly agreed to choose to bookend the party. And there's a little bit of a, girl agreement going on, women working together, which is pretty amazing to see. And it's almost like a spiritual connection in a way, kind of like we're meant to work together, aren't we? And even like if it's a wink wink across the aisle, we both have the same goal. We'll just round them all up here, and we're going to high five in the corner when no one else is looking. I think that there's something to be said here, and it's really just quite refreshing to see just women taking their power. And really women working together instead of against each other in a political sphere. It's quite refreshing. And they know it. They know that this is what's going on and that they're going to be a model for other women. And that's kind of their higher priority here, is to be a model and to get things done. Yeah, they're walking on opposite, like almost like there's a building and there's two balcony sort of deals, and they're like walking the same direction, but then they meet at some point. And it looks spectacular. It just looks great, right? Like there's just so many like bright lights. It's almost like a Hollywood premiere. It looks great what they're doing. Now, don't underestimate the meaning of this. Women are coming into their own power, and it might not have been in the way that we expected, where we expected a president who is a woman. It might be, the more foundational power of the Senate, of examples. I still see that Stephen Miller as a very bloodthirsty character. And he almost looks like Dracula. Yeah, the more we expose these sort of darker instincts, the better it will be for all of us. I see some moderate Republicans starting to turn against Trump. I think they already have in their mind, but I think they're going to start becoming more overt in their actions. These are senators who are not the extreme right. They're more in the middle, and they're more concerned with their own re-elections. So they don't live in states where it's just an easy win. They have to think a little bit longer about the long-term future. And they're not Mitch McConnell. They're younger people, so they're thinking about 20 years from now. What are they going to do when it comes down to the election and they have not much to show for it? So the situation really looks much better for the left. It looks like we're moving into a real change period. And it doesn't seem so crazy. Like, it doesn't seem like there's this wild, who knows what's going on next. It's just a sort of slow, crumbling of the perfect edifice that was the Republican Party. They're starting to fracture a bit. And, Yeah, something might happen to Mitch McConnell. Like, he seems almost kind of disappearing from this scene. Like, maybe he retires or something. He just seems like he's somewhat in decline. And so, Spirit, can you tell us, what about all these subpoenas? Maybe you can tell us the meaning and what will happen. Again, I see Trump, and he's just taking a subpoena, and he rips it in half, and he throws it away. But then there's another one, he throws it away, and another one, and another one, and another one. And now the room is full of paper. And it's like a hoarder's house. There's nowhere for him to walk. It's just, he can only do that. Like, Pelosi could just smile at him, and it's like, here you go, here you go, here you go, and keep doing that. And it just makes him angrier and angrier and angrier. It's like that person who knows how to press your button. They figured out how to press Trump's button for their own advantage. And these subpoenas are going to work for them. They're not, there's this feeling among some people that somehow, we don't want to look like the Republicans against Clinton, and da-da-da. This is absolutely a different situation. It has nothing to do with, having sex with an intern in your office. That's a subject for impeachment because you lied about it. But nothing to do with this particular situation. And people need to get beyond that idea that the two have anything linked, right? This is an ideal situation for Democrats. And the left, they're going to kind of be compelled to unite in more of a real party instead of being these people who are like, I want what's best for my state. I don't care about anybody else. They're starting to get it together. It sure has taken them a while, but they're starting to move and work together and starting to get in tune a little bit more with the American public and what they want. Because the American public isn't the same. The American public is no longer this passive body that will just kind of accept the limitations of whoever arrives, and I still got to go to my, golf game, whatever. We're very engaged now. And this is what has prompted a turn perhaps towards the left, and not even just the left, but within the party. It seems like it's going left, but still hanging together in a pretty definitive way. People can appreciate how deftly Nancy Pelosi is able to move this position a little bit. They can also appreciate AOC on the far left and how she's bringing in the young voters and, bringing back some ethics into the party and really talking about issues. And she's not mealy-mouthed and she's not afraid all the time. And she's just coming up and saying it. Yeah, it might seem like these things are very, very stressful, and it sure has been a stressful past couple of years, but we're moving into a much better time. This is going to be good. It's not going to be just a simple two-step experience. We are going to have to keep going and keep uniting, but it will be a uniting experience. It will be an experience where people are moving together to do things and sort of relearning their old political positions. And it's not so much about statistics and what's the popular opinion, but a little bit more about leading and sort of showing people what government can do. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi is going to do really well in the next few months. So, Spirit, is there any other information, any ideas, Spirit, about who might be the next president? It still seems very unclear who the president will be. And I often see Adam Schiff in the role of president. I don't know if he will be president, but it seems like he is defining the role of what a president is and should be. I do see Buttigieg. I don't know where he is in this picture, but I do see him somewhere in this arena. Anyone else? Yeah, right now we don't really know who the president is, but look towards the two women that I mentioned, Ocasio-Cortez and Pelosi, and just notice how powerful they are working together. This will be an example for people in the future, especially for young people in the future, especially for women in the future. This will be an example of how women can really work together and take some control of what had been, until recently, pretty much a man's world. Right? And on that note, thanks for watching.